24-hour clock where the 4 digits are used, the first two will be the hours, the last two will be the minutes. You don't have to write the letter H. And we see that the first two numbers, you know the hour over here, this refers to 2 a.m. This refers to 11:30 a.m. What about this?
5:45.
Do you say 5?
No, 3:45.
3:45 p.m. And the last one? 10 a.m. or p.m.? p.m. Okay, if you have a digital watch, cannot see. Okay, if you have a digital watch, you have the option to set AM, PM, the 12-hour format or the 24-hour format. Since we are going to be dealing with the 24-hour format, so change your watches to the 24-hour format so that you keep practicing all the time. Right, example number 1. Tiger Airways, a plane left Singapore for Bangkok at 11:45 a.m. So this is 11:45 a.m. The journey took 2 3/4 hours. What time did it arrive at Bangkok? In primary school, you might have drawn a number line. Yeah, sure, go ahead. Time of arrival. You can also write a working as such. 11:45. Hey, stop talking over there. 11:45 with a little spacing to denote that you are using the 24-hour format, plus your 2.5 hours. So 2 hours, 2 3/4 of an hour. So put on 2 hours, and now 3/4 of an hour. How many minutes would that be? 45 minutes. Okay. So from here you have to do the addition. We start with the right hand side. So 45 plus 45 gives us how many hours? 90 minutes, right? 1.5 hours. So we have 30 at the back, plus 1, plus 2. So that's 3, plus 11, 14:30. The time of arrival is 14:30. If you need your number line to help you add the time, go ahead. Go and draw if you want to. Did you know that your calculator can help you add time? Okay, this symbol over here. Because primary school you didn't get to use a calculator, right? Oh. For this, do you use a calculator like this? Wait. You mean in primary school you had access to this calculator with this function? And your teacher didn't teach you? And now you know lah. Sorry? Okay, in secondary school, I do not need to see your timeline. Okay, next. Ali left Singapore at 8:45, arrived in Mersing at 14:15. How long was the journey? So duration. Okay, you can put 14:15 with a spacing. Okay, let me make it more obvious. 14:15 minus away your 08:45. I'm not sure if the calculator can do this, so let me 5 hours 30 minutes. Okay? Next, speed. Speed is distance traveled over time. I heard somebody say total distance. We leave that for later on. Okay? We'll talk about that later on. So speed can be calculated as distance traveled per unit time. Speed is an example of rate, okay, like what I mentioned earlier on. So if the speed of an object is constant, if it is constant during a period of time, then it is said to have traveled at constant speed or uniform speed. Okay, you have to know these words over here. Very important keywords. Constant speed is the same as uniform speed. So a car travels at a constant speed of 60 kilometers per hour for 35 minutes. Calculate the distance traveled. I believe your primary school teacher used this. DST. This is applicable only for this one, only for constant speed. Okay? Whatever you have done in primary school, if you realize it is all constant speed. You won't have a speed that is changing unless it is two separate parts. Okay, right now we are still dealing with constant speed. Now, you want to find the distance traveled, so you cover the distance. The d over there, you're left with s times t. So you write down distance equals to your speed of 60 kilometers per hour multiplied by 35 minutes. Can you write 35 over here? Cannot. Because this is in minutes, so you need to convert it to hours. So this will be 35 over 60 of an hour. Now let me show you what happens if we are treating the units as algebra. Okay, I'll show you what's happening in algebra. 60 kilometers per hour is written as 60 km over 1 h. Over 1 hour, right? Then this is multiplied to 35 hours out of 60. 35 over 60 of an hour. Same as 35 times h over 60. Then you can do your cancellation. Your final answer will be in terms of kilometers. As expected, you're finding the distance. So you key this in your you don't have to key that in your calculator. You will know that the answer is 35 kilometers. Okay? Oh? You're learning non-uniform speed in physics. So when there is a case of non-uniform speed, what is the situation over there? What is the situation when there is non-uniform speed? Come on, starts with A. Acceleration. Starts with A. Okay, next. Okay, watch over here. Class. In real life situation, the speed of an object is usually not uniform throughout a journey. But we still want to simplify things for all of you little Sec 1 kids. So we learn this thing called average speed. Alright, now this is where a lot of misconceptions occur. Because you know the meaning of average. You have learned how to calculate averages in primary school. But this same word average over here for average speed is not calculated by the first speed plus the second speed plus the third speed divided by 3. It is not done that way. Okay? So you need to throw away your idea of average that you have learned in primary school for this case of average speed. Now I'll give you the definition for the average speed. It is total distance traveled. Okay, over total time. Have you copied this down? Total distance traveled over total time. Sometimes we shorten it down to total distance over total time. Important to copy this down. Okay, now, anybody doesn't understand what total distance means? Anybody doesn't understand? So I give you an example right now. This is my origin. I'm starting from this point. I'm going to walk to the end of the classroom. Okay? Walk. I covered the distance, right? And now I'm going to continue walking back. I'm going to continue walking back. What is the total distance traveled? Is it 0 or this distance plus this distance? You need to add, right? Okay, so that's the total distance. But what about the total time? Your time taken from there, come back, right? Okay, now you get another example. Suppose the distance from this wall to the end is, okay, let's have a good estimate. What do you think it is? Then I think more. 12, 15 meters? Okay, let's take it as 15 meters. 15 meters. I'm going to start walking and start timing. Okay, this is my whole journey. Okay, I stop here. I stand at class. I start scolding people for 1 minute or so without moving. Okay? I finish scolding already. Let me walk back. To the start front of the classroom. Oh, okay, then somebody said something, so I respond to school again. And then now I finish walking back. Okay. So what is the total distance traveled? From here to there and there, right? 30 meters, right? What is the total time taken? Wait. So does the total time taken include the time that I stand here and start scolding people? Does it include the time that I was standing there doing nothing and scolding people? Yes. Total time taken. Listen, total time taken literally means total time taken even if I'm not moving. When I'm standing still over there. When I'm standing in the middle. All this time is also included. Okay? Hey, but they won't ask you that question, okay? So when they say average speed, total distance over total time, as simple as that. Can you imagine if the average speed refers to the total distance traveled divided by the time spent moving? Well, then there's a lot more calculation to do, right? No, we're not going to do that. Average speed, total distance divided by total time, where the total time includes your waiting time, includes the time that you are standing still. So let's try part 1 now, question 1. The cyclist took 10 minutes to cycle 2 kilometers, find the average speed. So average speed, total distance over total time. Now you do not have to write this down. You don't have to write total distance over total time, but I'm writing it as a reminder for you. Okay, distance, kilometers. The final answer, they want it in kilometers per hours. So in kilometers, we have 2 km already. Happy. Divided by the time. In hours, but we have it in minutes. So 10 over 60 of an hour. Once you have this, punch everything into your calculator, you will get 12 kilometers per hour. Okay, so what is expected is average speed equals to the working and the final answer. I hope in your mind, when you see 2 kilometers divided by 10 over 60 of an hour, in your mind you are already doing 2 km times 60 over 10 of an hour. The hour is in the denominator. You are multiplying and you are flipping at the same time. So you get 12 km per hour. Okay, that can be done in your mind. Alright, next one. A bus took 3 hours to travel from A to B. Average speed 60 kilometers per hour. Calculate the distance. So A, distance. So you can use this triangle again, DST. Distance will be your speed times the time. Speed 60 times the time, 180 kilometers. That is the distance from A to B. Part B. Now the bus left town A at 1:30. What time did it arrive in town B? So we have time equals to 1330 plus 3 hours. You get 1630. Done. Wait, don't need to go and convert to 4:30 p.m. or whatever not. Just leave it like this. Next one. Why is it too fast? Am I going too fast? Okay, next. Question 3. A swimmer took 20 seconds to swim 200 meters from A to B. Now, he is going to rest for 10 seconds. So, like what I did earlier on, I stopped over there. And then he swims back to A again in 25 seconds. Calculate the average speed. Since they did not specify the units, can we leave it as meters per second? Sure, go ahead. So average speed. Total distance, 200 plus 200. Total time, 20 plus 10 plus 25. Total distance over total time. So we have 400 divided by 55. So this is 7 and 3 over 11 meters per second. Can? No, I did not change it to 3SF because there's no reason to. I can leave it as a fraction. And if you recall, I said before that you can leave it as an improper fraction as 80 over 11. But the context over here is finding the average speed. When you write the average speed as 80 over 11 meters per second versus 7 and 3 over 11 meters per second, which one is more useful? Which one is more readable to you? Which is more readable to you? 7 and 3 over 11. It makes more sense to you. Because you have a better idea. It is 7 plus a bit rather than 80 over 11, a bit harder. Okay, now still at question 3. I'm going to show you the wrong working. So average, the speed from A to B, 200 over 20, so 10 meters per second. Speed from B to A, 200 over 25, you get 8 meters per second. Average speed, 10 plus 8 over 2, you get 9 meters per second. Okay? Do you know what I'm doing over here? You know what I'm doing? I am using your primary school idea of average. Where you add the two speed, you divide by the number of items you added. And then you get 9. This is absolutely wrong. Please do not do this. Okay? This is the common misconception which I don't want you to make. Which I don't want you to have. Alright, next. Conversion of units. I think no cake for you. 1000. 1 km. How many cm? Have you all memorized this? Have you all memorized this? Even if you didn't memorize, you are able to derive this. And this. You can derive them. Just multiply. Okay, next. Okay, this one. Conversion of units. When you are doing... Who is your physics teacher? 40 meters per second. Write this down. 40 meters per second. Write it down this way. Okay? Next, they want to change it to kilometer per hour. Change your 40 meters to kilometer. How do you change meter to kilometer? Divide by 1000. So 40 over 1000 km. So put a unit aside. That is your new unit already. Now in your denominator, you want hour. So 1 second equals to how many hours? You need to do a division using this relationship. 1 hour is 3600 seconds. So 1 second equals to 1 over 3600 of an hour. So here we have 1 over 3600 of an hour. If you look at the units, km per hour, isn't that what they want? Km per hour. So key in this complicated fraction over fraction into your calculator and you'll do the rest for you. Okay? So when you key in, you can key in 40 over 1000 divided by 1 over 3600, or if you are actually doing one step in your mind already, it is equivalent to 40 divided by 1000, then you multiply by 3600. Because when you divide by a 1 over, you're actually multiplying by the same number. So the answer is 144. 144, and you copy down the units, km per hour. And it will work for your physics also. So the next one, 62 kilometers per hour. Okay, this is slightly easier. 62 kilometers over 1 hour. Per hour, over 1 hour. Now we want to change it to meters. 62 kilometers to meters. 62,000. In seconds, 1 hour, we've got 3,600 of a second. Key it into your calculator. 6620 divided by 36. You get 17 and 2 over 9 meters per second. Okay, rather than leaving it in the improper fraction, or in this case, leave it as a mixed fraction. You have a better idea of how fast this is. And I didn't leave it as a decimal because I can leave it as exact. The decimal is actually recurring. 0.2 with a dot on top. I think you can do the rest yourself. Oh, what? That's it? Oh no, that's not all. Okay, these two homework. Okay, done? 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 Done. Okay, done. This is due on Tuesday. Or should it be Monday? Tuesday. Okay lah, Tuesday. Okay, due on Tuesday. Next, MRT travels 160 kilometers, average speed 96 kilometers per hour. How long does this journey take? I think you can do this also, right? It is. Is it really that fast? Doesn't seem like it, right? Sometimes feel quite slow. Okay, this is also your homework. This is a primary school homework. Primary school question. 25 minutes travel. Primary school work again. Okay, let's try question 9. Part A. Mr. Tan drove 45 kilometers, average speed 60 kilometers per hour. Then, average speed of 88 kilometers per hour for the next 1.25 hours. Calculate time taken for the first part. Okay, so draw your triangle if you need it. DST. Part A. Time. Distance over speed. So time. Distance 45 kilometers over the speed 60 kilometers per hour. So when you write it this way, your final answer will be in terms of hours. So 3/4 of an hour. Did I ask you to convert a minute? You don't have to. Part B. Distance traveled in the second part of the journey. Distance. We've got our speed times the time. Speed is 88 kilometers per hour times the time of 1.25 hour. So 88 times 5 divided by 4, 110 kilometers. So we've got a time for the first part of the journey. We've got a distance for the second part of the journey. So then part C. Find the average speed. Find the average speed. Watch what I'm writing. Average speed equals to, okay, first part 60, second part 88. Oh, 60 plus 88, that's the average, then divide by 2. So 74 kilometers per hour. Okay? Any issues? Any issues? Any problem? No questions? Got issue? Who say got issue? Any issues not? So no problem. Okay, what is the average speed supposed to be? Total distance divided by total time. So what is the total distance? 45 plus 110 divided by total time. 3/4 of an hour plus 1.25 of an hour. So this gives us 155 divided by 2. 77.5 kilometers per hour.